Alright, so today I'll be talking about how AI is affecting the marketing industry for the next generation of marketing majors and creative writing majors alike. Me personally, I am a creative writing major, so this does hit close to home. I really got excited when I started thinking about how, I could get into the marketing world, how creative writing was such an important part of, telling stories for brands or companies or even products. And I was like, I could definitely do that. I would love to work with brands that I'm really excited about. But then at the same time, being a creative writing major, AI is taking over so much of the world, especially for writing majors. Like, you can go on, basically ask AI to write, this paper for you, and it will. And uh, it may not be the same as like us writing it. It may, be similar, but I feel like you can definitely tell, especially when you're storytelling and, you're trying to be creative and be like a real human being. I think you can still tell the difference between AI and writing it yourself. So that's been like an important part of me coming into like the marketing industry and how I look at it. And so I have been researching some companies like Oligivy, and that was started out by one single man, and he did a few different jobs. He worked, I think, as an officer in World War II, and then he also was like a door-to-door salesman. I believe he was a chef too, and then he eventually opened up his own company, and it was super, super small. And he eventually started working for brands like Dove Beauty and Rolls-Royce. And then this brand today, even though he passed away a while ago, is still such a big marketing brand. It's based in major cities like New York, London, and basically all over the world. And now they work with like thousands upon thousands of like big brands, smaller brands, all of that stuff. And but their mission is still to this day, not to, use AI as like a bad tool that like takes over like our human voices, but as like something else, as a way to instead use algorithms to target certain audiences so that those brands can be seen by like the right audience and the right customers, instead of just taking away the voices of the actual people that are working for those companies. Because storytelling is like a huge part of who we are, not just as people, but like I said, as brands and companies. So basically, Oligivy started out as a single man, grew into a huge company, and is still like changing the marketing industry today. Um, Oligivy wrote like several books, and even though, the marketing industry has been majorly influenced by AI now, those books are still considered like some of the most like important like books in the marketing like world, and are he's basically considered like the father of marketing now. And so basically, he created like lifelong campaigns for companies like Dove Beauty that defines real beauty as like loving yourself and loving your skin, or even the Rolls Royce. He created this at 60 miles an hour. The loudest noise you'll hear from the Rolls Royce comes from the electric clock. And you might still hear that today. I know there's like a lot of car fans that still quote that today. These were some of his first marketing campaigns that are still used like today throughout like these campaigns. And even with the anxieties we are facing with AI in the future, what's going to last like another 60 to 100 years will be the stories that we create for brands, and make us feel and give us a connection to the products they're selling and the companies that like customers are going to buy from for like a long time. Like Dove Beauty, that's been around for like years upon years, and it's grown into such a big company that, and we love like their campaigns and their overall message, and like to love your body and love yourself. Um, but basically, the solution to like all these anxieties and like fears that we're having about like AI as like creative writing majors and marketing majors alike is to find those companies that prioritize the humanities, creativeness, storytelling, the ability to feel something for a campaign or a brand, or the products you're trying to sell. Companies that use AI aren't necessarily bad, as long as they aren't letting AI do your job for you. They shouldn't be just letting AI build these campaigns for you or do all the writing for you, because that's not like you're not gonna stay in that job for like a long time, because eventually they're gonna be like, oh, we don't have to pay this person to like do this, and then they're gonna lose that like humanity behind their campaign or their brand. But if they're using it responsibly, um, then basically they're helping your stories or the stories you create for brands be seen by the right audience that needs to see it using algorithms instead of taking your voice away from you. So look for companies like Ola Gibby. I know there's like a lot more out there too, but this is like one of my favorite marketing companies because they are rated like so highly by different people that work for them. And no brand is perfect, no company is perfect, but this company works so well to basically make sure that you are staying with basically your morals and like creating something important that's gonna last like a really long time. And that's why I'm hoping to eventually work with them as a creative writing major. And I think that that's really important to find those companies that are prioritizing humans rather than AI agents. So yeah, I hope you all like find your right companies and your right fit, and you don't get like discouraged from like AI taking over like writing, because writing is like so beautiful and it's an important part of storytelling and the backbone like of campaigns. And I really hope that everyone finds the right space for them, and their stories are told. So yeah.